Welcome to the FM26 Beta, and welcome to Manchester United, where our aim is to win the Premier League. And ideally a Champions League. Ideally. If we don't hit that within 5 seasons, I'm not going to play the save game forever. And well, I feel like the 2025-26 season is a weird one for Manchester United. Amorim came in midway through the season last year, failed to win the Europa League final, failed to get European football via the league, and so we have a big squad of overpaid players, and, well, I'd probably want to sell quite a few of them. Now, in terms of the board's expectations for this first year, aiming to qualify for the Europa League, so we're looking at a top 6 or 7 finish to do that. I feel like that should be the minimum aim. I would love to get Champions League football. I do feel like that advantage of not having the distraction of loads of cup competitions, that's probably going to play to our favour. And I suppose the good news is, in spite of that lack of European football this year, we're in a really good spot financially where I don't think my hand is going to be forced with any transfer dealings if I don't want to move players on. Now, just looking at the Manchester United squad, no points for guessing who is considered the best player in our team. It is Bruno Fernandes. The club captain is absolutely phenomenal. In Football Manager, his mentals and, well, his physicals are really good. I'm looking at 20 stamina and 18 work rate and thinking that there's going to be some really mad out-of-possession role that we can use him in. And of course, I'm inheriting the squad that was built over the summer where Matheus Cunha and Mbeumo are already here, and these are 2 players that I think are going to be really important for the way I would like to play. Now, in terms of the tactics this year, I'm going to probably experiment a little bit in pre-season, but I am thinking about playing a fluid counter-attack with kind of a free-at-the-back system. I think the biggest dilemma I'm going to have in terms of personnel is what to do with Bruno. Do I play him at defensive mid as a box-to-box playmaker, which he'd suit really well, or do we play him at a kind of a more attacking mid area? I feel like he can do both of these reasonably well, and if I am playing the free at the back with a defensive mid next to him, maybe I could get away with his free marking and 8 tackling. Although free marking is absolutely awful, isn't it? Out of possession, I do think we should probably play some kind of 3-4-3 shape, but in possession, I would kind of like to do something a bit weird and wonderful, where maybe the fullbacks play further forward. Maybe we do have Bruno or someone else in this kind of playmaker-y role moving from deep. Of course, the new tactics creator in Football Manager is really powerful. And in fact, if I am having a box-to-box playmaker, do we move in and have the renamed libero in behind a player, advanced kind of centre-back, who will just step up into the midfield and move alongside Casemiro? I'll be honest, I kind of like this shape already when we have the ball. But you know what, before I get too much into the weeds of tactics, of which the weeds are very dense in FM26, there's so many tactical options, we've got to review a couple of bits here where, well, I could negotiate the club vision. I think the Europa League aim is probably sensible. Now, in terms of this pre-season, I do feel like it's in my interest to move on certain players. I'm looking at Casemiro on £300,000 thinking, mate, like, you're not that good. Those wages are wasted. And to be fair, I look at the likes of Sancho and Rashford and just think, oh, you guys are going to be pains when you come back from your various loans. In Sancho's case, there's no option to buy from Villa, so I've got to plan for his return. And annoyingly, I'm actually a little bit of a fan of Marcus Rashford, and unfortunately, with his deal to Barcelona, there's an option for them to buy him for £30 million, which I kind of hope they don't do, although then again, when I look at his wages, he's good. He's not worth that kind of wage, is he? There are other players like Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire where I go, £200,000, even Mason Mount, I suppose, to an extent as well. But these guys are all homegrown in England. And whilst I've not got European football to contend with this year, probably should have that in the back of my mind. Striking-wise, there is only one man for the job, though. It has to be Sesko. He is just so good in FM year on year. Admittedly, I think he has maybe taken a little bit of a hit in terms of his ability currently in FM. But there's no denying that with the potential he's got, and given the age of him at 22, with his physicals, which I just like in a lone striker, he's a man we're going to be relying on. I'm looking at our centre-back options here. I feel like Yoro, if I am going to play a free at the back, has to be the man in the middle. I feel like pace is really important when you're playing with a back three. That 16 pace on the 19-year-old is massive. And to be fair, with his potential, I just need to give him as much game time as I can, I think. I know a lot's been made of the goalkeeping position of Manchester United. Bayern actually does have some interest in him, although it's only a loan. Lamans is going to be the main man, I think, although obviously he was a bit of a rogue signing, I think, when he was made in real life. And in Football Manager, is he really good enough to be Manchester United's number 1? I mean, when you compare the two of these guys here side by side, I think Bayern might be better. But I don't love either of them, and the fact that Lamans has first choice goalie set as his squad status means this might be a problem I have to address next summer. I talked a bit about Yoro already. Dorgu, I think, is going to be my go-to left wing-back this year. At 20 years old, he is phenomenal and has great potential. And another player with potential who I feel like I need to do something with is Kobbie Mainoo. Like, this is a man who has got 10 caps for England. He's 20 years old, bags of potential. I feel like he's not been given enough game opportunities at Manchester United. Maybe deservedly so, but at least looking at his Football Manager profile, I've got to find a way to give him some minutes somehow. The thing I'm wrestling with really is, at the moment, I'm thinking that Bruno and Ugarte might have to be side by side, because I do think I would like to play Mbeumo and Cunha, like in wide areas when we don't have the ball, have them move into the middle, and then have our wing-backs in Dorgu and Ahmad step up as kind of wide midfielders. These roles will probably change as I experiment during pre-season. But I feel like this could work, and with Dorgu and Ahmad's pace, like, they're going to have to get up and down the pitch, but I feel like they can really do that. I do like our wing-back options a lot. I am a little bit concerned that with the likes of Dalot and Mazraoui, that, like, maybe they're just not quite good enough. I mean, Mazraoui's not bad, but obviously he's going to be injured to start the season. Not sure I'd be able to move him on, even if I wanted to. And then there's players like Malacia as well, who I don't think is that bad, but, like, he's just not Manchester United quality. Like, I think the issue I've got in my team right now is there is so many average players and I need to move some of them on, but who I move on is perhaps just going to be dictated by who can I actually get bids for. Our first game of the season is, of course, against Arsenal. We are going to do that in this episode. I'm going to go forward and play until the start of the season, get some wheeling and dealing done, and hopefully when I come back, I have a tactical plan and I'm a little happier with the first team. If you are watching the video today and haven't got on the FM26 Beta, you can do so using today's sponsor. Football Manager 26 is nearly here, and with Fanatical, a Sega-approved retailer, you can pre-order for cheaper than Steam or Epic Games. Just hit the link down below or on screen and lock in your discount using the code WTS, plus get that early beta access. The deal runs all the way to launch, so don't miss it, and thanks to those of you that have used it for supporting the channel. Now let's get back to the video. Okay, well, it's the 17th of August in-game, first game of the season against Arsenal awaits, but we've had a busy month. And speaking of busy, if you want to keep me busy, today can be a double upload day if we hit 2,000 likes. It's not the biggest target in the world. I have faith in you to go out there and make a difference down below. Well, looking at the recruitment budgets, you might see the £34 million in the wage budget and think, you said you were going to spend money, Jack. Don't worry, I have spent money. But in order to spend, we did need to sell, and we ended up selling two rather notable names to Al Ittihad, the first of which is Mason Mount. Yes, he departed the club for, I'm trying to remember now, £45 million. He's not exactly lit up the world since he joined us. A £10 million loss isn't ideal, but I didn't really fancy him in my team. And in fact, he is not the only player of ours that's headed to Al Ittihad, because the other big sale of note was Diogo Dalot. He has left for a total of £35 million, which I feel like is a pretty nice offer to get. Yeah, not too bad. And that is it when it comes to sales of note so far. And I say so far because I'm really trying to kick Casemiro out the door. Yeah, I've kept him as vice-captain. Probably an error in retrospect. Yeah, I offered him out to teams, and whilst a load of our players were getting loads of offers, Casemiro didn't get any offers and threw a hissy fit, and now I've got a mini player rebellion before the season's even begun. So, yeah, gonna have to monitor this fire a little bit. In an ideal world, with his £300,000 a week, I do get rid of him. I've offered him out for £0. There is very little interest. No one can afford his wages. So with the two sales made, we made £81 million. We've spent a little bit more than that at £95 million, and the most amount of that money went on Murillo here. Yes, Murillo, just an amazing player to pick up. 23 years old, of course, signed from Nottingham Forest, where, well, let's be honest, he has made a bit of a name for himself as a player who's great with the ball at his feet. And in our system, with an advanced centre-back, I need a player who is going to do that. You can see it is perhaps his preferred role, and he is left-footed. That will become apparent why that's really important later. I spent a lot of money on this guy, but he was just the ideal fit for how I want to play. The other transfer that was a slightly more expensive one was Basuma. Yes, the Malayan was transfer listed at £25 million, and I fancied him at that price, mostly because at the time I thought I was going to be moving on Ugarte or Casemiro. Offers haven't come in for either of those players, but nevertheless, there's some defensive mid-depth. He's very good as a squad player. And well, squad players was the name of the game. We picked up Nathan Teller for a reasonable fee. I think it was £7 million in the end. This guy's super versatile. One thing that we really lacked in the team was versatile attackers. And the advantage with Teller was he's homegrown in nation, but also on top of that, he can also function as a backup winger. And whilst he's not as good defensively as Diogo Dalot, he kind of fills the gap that we lost there And obviously with attacking versatility solves another problem that we had. The last of the outfield players we picked up is Kota Tawaratsumida. Definitely not saying that name correctly. I think we'll call him Kota for short. This guy, 21 years old, Japanese international, loads and loads of potential. Really like the look of him. Has, well, Premier League standard. I feel like, though, as kind of a fifth choice attacking midfielder, he can do a job for us. I think this is why this is such a good deal. I have spent £5.25 million on this guy. If you're managing any team in the Premier League, I feel like for £5 million, if you need a versatile attacker, this guy might be one of the best value for money signings. Now, right now, Bayindir is on his way out of the club. It's going to be a loan with a mandatory buy from Crystal Palace. And the reason I'm moving him on is I did sign a goalie. And in fact, it's someone from the Football Manager Hall of Fame of goalkeepers. Predrag Rajkovic was available. Yes, of course, in real life, he's moved over to Al Ittihad. And whilst we were selling them a load of players, we also bought him from them for £3.6 million. Now, in terms of our pre-season, we actually had a really packed schedule, and I really tried to rotate the entire team through all these games. We had youth players playing in various matches, but I did feel like we were slowly able to refine our tactical system for the year. Obviously, the one minor exception in that run of games was the game against PSG. But actually, the stats were kind of close. And 3-1 away defeat against PSG, given where our team's at right now, I don't think that's the worst result in the world. So our first team does currently sit at 26 players. I feel like we're at a point now where once Bayindir's gone, we'll be at a 25-man squad I'll be happy with. And whilst there is still money to spend, I'm probably going to focus on maybe picking up some young players for the next couple of seasons rather than any first-team players. And the reason for that really is I kind of like where our team's at. Now, in terms of the tactics, I've actually kept the shape that I think I showed you at the beginning of pre-season. The roles have certainly changed, but I'm looking to play kind of a 3-4-3 when we're without the ball. Keep it nice and compact at the back. Going with the double inside outlet wingers here. And Mbeumo and Fernandes, they're going to start defending in these wider areas. But as we get onto the back foot, they will just tuck inside that little bit more. And that will help us nicely transition quickly when we look to counter-attack, because they are going to both then move into the centre attack in mid-area. I realise this is just a really, really good chance to show the visualiser, really, isn't it? Yeah, we are going to defend with a flat back five, then two defensive mids, and these two, they'll do a little bit of defending high up the pitch, but as we start to defend deeper and deeper, they are just going to get a little bit lazy and be looking for the counter-attacks. And well, in terms of the in-possession system, I mentioned the fact I wanted to bring in Murillo to play as this advanced centre-back. It's a super demanding role. At one point, I was thinking that Luke Shaw might have to play there, which, to be honest, he's not even the worst advanced centre-back in the world. But I think in terms of Luke Shaw's time at the club, as a starter, it probably is over, and he is going to be more of a backup for us now. Now, in terms of our in-possession shape, admittedly, when you look at the visualiser here, it looks like a 3-2-4-1. But actually, with the team instructions we've got, where we're looking to bypass the press, get it to the playmaker quickly, and in fact, you can see here, direct, high-tempo, counter-attacking play, the reality is we're not going to look to build up slowly from the back. We're very rarely going to be set up in this shape, and instead, this is the shape we're going to look to get into. We want to force turnovers high up the pitch. When we do win the ball, I want to get it forward quickly. Dorgu and Ahmad using their pace to get forward on either side. Murillo is going to step up and play alongside Ugarte to kind of give us a nice box in the middle. And we're going to have 6 forward players that just run absolutely rampant. At least that's my plan. In terms of additional instructions, we are looking to play narrower. I really want to funnel the play through the middle, where we are going to have the 3 kind of attacking mid players dominating the area. Mainu is going to step up as that box-to-box playmaker, and alongside Mbeumo and Fernandes, I feel like we've got some really nice talent there. And you'll also note here, I have got look for the underlap on both flanks. The wingers in Dorgu and Ahmad, whilst they are going to get forward on occasion, really I want them to hold on to the ball and look for the 2 players moving into the channels in Mainu and Fernandes to make these runs on ahead and just cause some nice overloads in the middle. The only downside going into this first game of the season, Benjamin Sesko's unavailable. Minor injury, hamstring strain, out for 4 to 10 games. Obviously, a useful player for us. And with our counter-attacking system, his physicality to hold up the ball for those players to catch up with him is going to be important. I suppose the good news in that regard is we've got Xerxes, who perhaps is a slightly more physical striking option who can be the understudy to Sesko. And to be fair, Cunha as well, with his kind of generally not awful physicality, could potentially hold up the ball as well as a striker, although I do kind of view him as the versatile backup option to Mbeumo and Bruno Fernandes. In terms of the out-of-possession instructions, we are going to look to press high with how we're playing, where we're counter-attacking and lumping the ball forward to players quickly up front. When we do lose the ball in advanced areas, we're going to have so many players committed to the attack, it just makes sense to have this high line of engagement rather than looking to drop back. I'm looking for us to counter-press, get stuck in, also looking for us to trap teams outside. We've got really congested kind of play in the middle, and I feel like we're able to deal with any balls that get funneled into the middle from wide areas. So I'm happy to invite some crosses on. Of course, all of that to say, this is a beta, and I'm going to be learning as you guys learn too. And I have no doubt the tactics will change as the season goes on. Obviously, we have made a fair few signings, but unfortunately in the season preview, we are still down in 6th. Chelsea, Newcastle, Arsenal, Man City and Liverpool, the teams predicted to be ahead of us. Of course, Arsenal, the first of those teams we take on today. And they're quite good with Victor Gyökeres up top, aren't they? They are without Saliba for this game. Havertz is a bit of a miss too, and Gyökeres doubtful, so they maybe aren't going to be there for the taking. Now, I was a little bit worried that with the way we're set up, with our advanced centre-back stepping up to kind of make a back two and then 2 defensive mids, we might get caught on the counter. But looking at how they're playing with this 4-4-2 without the ball, I don't think they're going to have any wide players who are high enough up the pitch to catch us out when we do commit men forward in those wider areas. Anyway, in terms of team selection for this game, I think I am going to go with Cunha up front for this one. Obviously, Sesko not fit enough, and just due to the lack of attacking depth we have, I can't even put another striker on the bench in his absence. In terms of the rest of the team, I am going to stick with Lamens to start the year. At the back, De Ligt, Yoro and Murillo I actually really like as a back three. I do feel like if any of them get injured, the drop down is a little bit significant. In the midfield, I have decided that Bruno Fernandes is going to play as an attacking midfielder. Kobe Mainoo has just signed a new deal at the club, and I want to make sure the 20-year-old gets a really good chance to shine and hopefully develop. Ugarte is going to start alongside him. I'm not overly sold on Ugarte, but Basuma obviously waiting in the wings as an alternative. In the wide areas, it's going to be Ahmad and Dorgu, and the front three, Cunha and Buemo, obviously 2 players making their league debuts for the club, and Bruno is going to be playing as this channel forward. It's a role that suits him really, really well, and I'm going to hope that we get lots of assists out of him. We have to win our home games, no excuses. Look, they've got no Saliba. I know we've got no Sesko, but really, we should be able to punish them in this one. Oh, of course, Premier League graphics are here as well. There is our team, the 3-4-3. I'm going to call it a 3-4-3. I'll let you be the judge of what it is. This cutscene, I will say, it's the same cutscene every time, so I'm not sure we're going to watch it every game, but we've got to watch it for the first game in FM26. Look at Old Trafford in all its glory. Arsenal v Manchester United on the opening Sunday of the Premier League season. Does it get better than this? It probably does. Not sure what happened to Old Trafford's corners, mind you. Under renovation, I guess. Right, let's get into this, boys. Need a win, and that's the dream start. Well played, Arsenal. 90 seconds into this game, and an early chance, perhaps, is Odegaard stepping up through the middle. Declan Rice spreads it wide to Martinelli. Obviously, Ahmad, not the best defensively, and maybe that tackle there, an example of that. Martinelli inside. Mainoo misses his tackle. Bukayo Saka, looking to keep the attack alive, shoots! What is that? What is that? I can do all the tactical prep in the world, can't I, pre-season? I can make all the signs I want. I can't stop that going in. I mean, that is stupendous by Saka, isn't it? Look, we've got 90 minutes to try and make a response happen, and Ugarte is going to try and make something happen here. Plays it inside to Bruno. He steps forward. Mbuemo turns. Plays it wide. Dorgu in an advanced area. That is not the man I expected to score, but we have drawn level almost immediately. We funneled the play through the middle here, and of course, Dorgu is set to play as a wide midfielder at left midfield. That does mean he will get forward, because there is no one in front of him to occupy that space, and well, it turns out if he gets into that area, maybe he can finish them too. Saka, free kick, whip back post, headed half away. I don't like this. Zubimendi scores another banger. I think that deflected in as well. I would love to know, if you've been playing FM26, is this your experience that just bangers fly in? Am I just unlucky? Have I got a victim complex? That did deflect in as well, didn't it? That's disgusting. Lewis Skelly playing it down the line. I mean, having conceded 2 in this game that I don't feel like we could have done a lot to account for, we need to be better at the back. Martinelli scores. I'm hoping for an offside flag. It's not being raised. Arsenal are 3-1 up here. I promise you that my experience of playing the game isn't that matches are all like this. I mean, I think we've had 4 highlights and 4 goals. It's found the top corner. Okay, Brian, mon ami, do me a favour. He's not French. I don't know why I've said mon ami. He is my friend, though. Finds Cunha, shoots, hits the post. Ahmad scores. There's a VAR check. Ahmad, just run to the halfway line, mate. Don't let VAR intervene. If you have the ball, they can't disallow it. It's 3-2. Or is it? I mean, he's put the ball down the halfway line. The goal is going to count. Why is there a highlight immediately? Football Manager, what are we doing here? I was watching VAR and then it's cut. Like the TV director's gone, crap, there could be a chance immediately. Kobe Mainu flies in. Couldn't you looking to bring it forward here? We've had 5 goals inside half an hour. What an entertaining start to our season. Dorgu, Brian Mbuemo's throwing in behind. He's hit the post. We could have been level. Lewis Skelly already has 1 assist to his name in this game. Could he add another? 8 minutes left of this half. It has been a crazy, crazy first half so far. De Ligt wins it nicely. Ahmad dinks it in. That is an ambitious ball played forward, which, well, unfortunately, they are going to win over. Gyökeres, Odegaard, Declan Rice. That was almost a sensational goal. I said so much about Bruno Fernandes. He's on a 6.2 rating at the end of the first half. That is not good. You've been terrible so far. Sort it out. The players are at least a little bit motivated. I don't think I'm ready to go more attacking just yet, but based on the fact they did score 2 long shots against us, I am just going to encourage us to play a slightly higher defensive line. We are approaching an hour played here, and I think I've got to change stuff up a little. I'm going to ask the team to play a little bit wider, and for our distribution, rather than going to the playmaker, I'm just going to put it on balance, and maybe we can be a little bit less predictable. Cunha's not the best game up top, so I'm going to bring in Joshua Zirkzee, who's coming back from injury. I've also brought Basuma into the midfield. This might be controversial. Bruno is on a 6.16. I am bringing in Nathan Teller for his debut, and hopefully he can make something magical happen. Also made the decision to go to more attacking. We've got 20 minutes to try and make something happen in this game. All the action happened early doors. Since then, the game has quieted down quite a lot. Saka plays it inside to Zubimendi. He plays it forward. Declan Rice, Lewis Skelly. Arsenal holding on to the ball here and knocking it around nicely. Martinelli in the wide area here, lays it inside. Declan Rice had a quiet game so far. I've given Basuma his debut and he's given away a penalty. Unless VAR's not going to give it. He's definitely going to give it, isn't it? I don't want to look. If I just cover my eyes, it can't happen. Nothing's real if I cover my eyes. The penalty is awarded. Gyökeres with a chance to score on his debut for Arsenal. He steps up and Lamans does not save it. It wasn't an issue in the earlier builds I played. Match stats in matches just aren't working at the moment. So it's very difficult to know what to change here. Right, we're chasing the game. Dorgu forward, Ahmad forward, Ahmad. Just play as a wide forward, mate. I might as well bring Cotter on for his debut at this point as well. Out of possession, he can't play at wing back, so we'll move him further forward. We need to make something happen here. I mean, I'll be honest, this just looks stupid, doesn't it, for the out of possession formation, but I'm using it. Don't be mad. 4 minutes out of time at the end of this game. It's not been a good game. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. 4-2. They scored bangers. They scored a penalty. I don't think it's completely a write-off, but I'll let you guys be the judge. Andrew Spence wants me to tell him what happened today. Matt, I'm not talking to you. We didn't do everything well enough. Leave me alone. I'm storming out. Leave me alone. I'm never doing these press conferences. Why am I here? I wish I could say off the back of that result, well, at least the games get easier, but they really, really don't. We've got Man City and Chelsea next month back-to-back and Liverpool shortly after. That Liverpool game might well be what I come back for next time. First game of the year, not exactly ideal. Yeah, look, we're going to look to bounce back and hope we do better. I need to win some games before we return. Otherwise, I could get sacked sooner than Amarin. Like I mentioned earlier, if you did enjoy this video, do go down below and show some support and love on the series. If you're new to the channel, make sure to be subscribed. We have daily Football Manager content dropping throughout FM26. Hopefully, I see you later today for a double upload. And until next time, it's me, Jack. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.